great night in Wisconsin, huh? We now have Senator-elect Johnson. Governor-elect Walker. We picked up 2 congressional seats and maybe a 3rd. I apologize, it's taken a while to get out here. I appreciate you guys all hanging out. Before we get started, I do want to take a moment. You know, this seat has been held for 41 years by Congressman Oak. I can tell you what, I didn't oftentimes agree with his policies and ideas, but he did serve this district honorably, and I think we owe him that due respect after 41 years. We are here on an amazing night. There are thousands of people to thank. It takes a whole movement in central and northern Wisconsin to get here. But I want to thank a couple of people that were there even before we announced. And first and foremost, I want to thank my best friend and the person who encouraged me every day to get out there and run hard and tell me you can do it every day when I didn't want to go out. She said, listen, you can make it happen, you can work hard, you can win this district. She is my best friend, the mother of our 6 children. She's my and I'm dropping mics. I wouldn't be here, I don't know whose mic that is, but it's going to sit on the side. And also, you know what? When a family goes through this process, it takes a whole movement with all the kids involved. And my kids have had a front row seat to American politics, walking parades, shaking hands at fairs and festivals, and doing lit drops and watching negative ads all over the past 5 months. I gotta tell you what, you know the video you just saw, the last one? My little Lucia had a chance to watch it, right? And she rolls up and she's like, oh no. Is this going to be a good one or a bad one about my dad? Like, no, it's going to be a good one, honey. I also want to thank my good friend Jim Miller is here, and Debbie Lula, she's right here, Tina Miller. I want to thank my mom and dad are here tonight. Hey, hey. Very good Democrats and one Republican, I gotta say. My mother and father-in-law can't be here, Mickey and Peely. The Nikolais, John and Ann Nikolai are here. We gotta sit down up at their cabin on the Chippewa River, drinking a beer, talking about this race. They're from Marshfield and said, you know what, Marshfield's sick of it. We're gonna go. We're gonna go Republican. And that was before we got in. Wausau Homes are great. John and Tracy Yackel, Karen Dunham. I don't know if Karen's here, our chair. Hi, Karen. Hello. Thank you. My brother Tom and Karen, Barb Linden, and our whole crew up in Ashland. I feel like I'm in the Academy Awards here. I apologize for that. And I don't know. We've taken some shots in the media, and we have a great crew up in Ashland. Our law enforcement is actually outstanding. They a child sexual assault investigator who has stood by me through this whole campaign as we were taking the shots, and she's here tonight, Latricia Duggar. And I got a big family. That's why we need a big place. I've got 5 brothers and 5 sisters. Almost all of them are here tonight. Thank you guys for all coming out. I appreciate it. Quickly, we would not be here if we didn't have one heck of a team. Our team worked endlessly from 8:15 in the morning. They wouldn't leave the office until 8, 9, oftentimes 11 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. So I know we have Matt here. Hello, Matt! Elise, John, here, I think, and then Mark and Nathan and You guys have done a great job. Thank you all for your hard work. When I got in this race, before I announced, I went out to Washington, D.C., right? And I went to the National Republican Congressional Committee, it's the national party, and I said, you know what? I'm going to run for Congress. And they said, well, who are you going to run against? And I said, well, I'm going to run against Dave Obey. And you can imagine I, for the most part, got laughed out of that building. But I came back here, and we started working hard in this district, crisscrossing all over from corner to corner, talking about fiscal responsibility, talking about balancing our budget, talking about the philosophy that borrowing money from government and spending it doesn't create economic prosperity, growth, or jobs. That crisscrossing has led us here tonight, which is a great honor. But before I got here, I was traveling on the Lumberjack Express on the Take the Axe to Washington tour, and I had to stop by Ashland. And it was a great honor for me to walk into the polling booth with my 6 kids who have been absolute troopers during the course of this campaign. We started out with 5. We're ending with 6. We found that out about a month after we started the race. But we were supposed to be done at 4. But you know what? It was fitting because the reason we got in this race, the reason Rachel and I decided to make this great effort was for our kids. And you know, when Congress passed that nearly $1 trillion stimulus bill, I thought, you know what? We are mortgaging our children's future. We are going to add nearly $1 trillion on top of our already expansive national debt. That's unacceptable. And then I thought, you know what? Amen. Yeah. But the bailouts and the takeovers was expanding government, and it was, I think, threatening the role that our traditional government has had in our lives, and it was threatening to give us a European-style, cradle-to-grave socialist state, which I thought was unacceptable. I thought we got to get involved. And you know, as we just take a look at our great American history, I think that every generation has a calling and a purpose. And you look back to the greatest generation, and they fought World War II. They defeated tyranny on the global stage. I look at our generation, and I think our great battle is fighting the advancement of this creeping socialism. Right. Yeah. That's a battle to return our nation to the principles that made America different, that made America better, that made America great. Better than all of the nations in the world. Yeah. It's liberty and free markets and fiscal discipline and personal responsibility that I think make it just better. Now, over the course of the campaign, I've had an opportunity to talk to you all about my ideas and my plans and my commitments. And before I started, though, I made one very important promise, one very important commitment, and it's to a very significant to me special interest right here in Wisconsin. It was a commitment that I made to my kids, that no matter what happened in this race, win or lose, when it's over, we are going to Disneyland. Until the campaign is over, we're going to Disneyland. But you know, with that, I did talk about 7 commitments. I mean, 7 ideas that aren't policy related, but just what kind of congressman I want to be. And I just want to quickly tell you what they are. Maybe you guys weren't there when we signed our little pledge in our office here in Wausau, and we did one down in Rapids. But you know what? I love Wisconsin. I moved back here because this is the best place to raise a family. So I commit to to all of you that I will never live in D.C. I'm going to raise my family right here. I'm going to live in Wisconsin, 7th Congressional District. I'm going to hold a town hall meeting in every county, every year, tenure as your next congressman. I will support legislation to make sure we post any bill online 72 hours before we vote on it. So you have an opportunity to read it and review it. So you'll know what's in it. I'll support legislation for term limits. Yeah. I'll only serve Wisconsin's interests, not the special interests. I'll remain accessible and open with district office hours and office hours out in Washington, D.C. And then, finally, any legislation that applies to all of you should apply to congressmen and women as well.
That's right.
It's good for the goose. I think we all have a responsibility to create a brighter future for our next generation, for our children. And you know what, for me, I look at this and I say, you don't, for me, bring 6 beautiful children into the world unless you believe that we can turn this economy around and bring jobs back here to Wisconsin. You don't bring 6 children into the world unless you believe that America will prosper again. And you don't bring 6 beautiful children into the world unless you believe that America's best days are ahead of us. And they truly are. I am so grateful and so honored for the confidence that you have bestowed in me during the course of this election, during the course of this campaign. And I can promise you that I'm going to work hard to get America back on track. I'll put every ounce of energy, every bit of fire that I put into this campaign, I'm going to put into my representation for all of you as your next congressman. I'm going to take that energy and that fire and that determination to Washington, D.C. as your next congressman. I'll work to bring fiscal responsibility back to Washington. I'll work to bring jobs back to Wisconsin. I'll work to ensure that our children have a brighter future for their next generation. I gotta tell you, I thank you all for your support, and I look forward to bringing our Wisconsin work ethic and our good Wisconsin common sense to a place that desperately needs it. Washington, D.C. For the past 8 years, I served as Ashland County's district attorney. And when you do that, you get to see people at their worst. And over the course of this campaign, the past 16 months, I've had a chance and a privilege to travel this district and go to fairs and parades and festivals and dairy breakfasts. You've all invited me in your homes and in your businesses. I've talked to you at diners and cafes and on factory floors, and I've seen up close our hard work and ingenuity and faith and our value of family. And I got to say that, as I've gone through this process, I truly have a deeper appreciation and love for all of us who live here in Wisconsin, 7th Congressional District, right here in central and northern Wisconsin. I got to say, we're an amazing people. You guys are remarkable. It's a great place to call home. And you know what? I'm truly honored and humbled by the trust and confidence that you placed in me, and I promise to keep my word. I promise to bring the axe to Washington. It has been a joy. I look forward to working with all of you. We are going to turn this thing around. Thank you all very much for coming out. We're looking for toys. Thank you very much. God bless you all. God bless awesome. Rob!